There's something we don't talk about enough, especially when it comes to raising African children abroad. Raising kids in the diaspora as African parents is a two-edged sword. And if you're not careful, the system will raise them for you in a way you never recognize. Let me explain. When Nigerians or Africans in general move abroad, one first shock they always experience is how boring life seems compared to back home. But when they say boring, what they really mean is they've lost access to a level of freedom that we're used to, because their spirit is used to a freedom in a different form. Spontaneous, expressive, deeply communal. The African spirit thrives in movement, sound, energy, chaos, and creativity. Africans are deeply wired for freedom. We love to move how we want, act how we want, live how we want, without too many rules boxing us in. It's in our spirit, it's in our culture. So when they find themselves in a very structured society where every action is boxed in by rules, they feel restricted. So when they say this place is very boring, don't come, this place is very boring, what they truly mean is by boring is that this place is limits how I express the fullness of who I am. But what many people don't realize is that these systems already have your behavioral data. They know that by virtue of your African roots, boredom will eventually set in. When you are placed in a very hyper-structured environment, your ancestry doesn't lie. Your spirit craves for expression, freedom, spontaneity. So what did they do? They offer you something that looks like freedom, but in reality, it's a calculated trap. A system designed to bait you into self-destruction under the illusion of choice. The freedoms are always repackaged, shiny, attractive, and dangerous, mostly there in the West. They tell you can be anything, do anything, identify as anything. You can be a woman today, you can be a woman tomorrow. You can be a mosquito even if you want. Speak against anything and reject anything. Smoke what you want, say what you want, raise your children however you want. It sounds beautiful, but here is the truth. It's actually a trap. Freedom without boundaries is a setup. Now look at the mathematics here. The system that gives you this very freedom are the same ones that quietly destroy you if you abuse it. Because they know definitely by that virtue of you loving freedom, you will abuse it. That's why statistics show that black people are disproportionately imprisoned in the same countries that promote this freedom. It's not coincidence, it's not even random. It's partly because of the African spirit. It embraces freedom quickly, deeply, passionately, thinking it's their right, but in reality, in real sense, it's not. We love freedom to that point when we walk into a system that gives us a blank check of freedom. We just accept it. We don't think. We don't know it's a bait. Most blacks that accept this very freedom don't always end well. Take gun laws, for example. You are free to own a gun, right? But the moment you defend yourself and someone dies, the same system that gave you that freedom will look very closely at how you used it. If you are black, the odds aren't often in your favor. Before you know what's happening, you're on trial for your life. You are told you can do drugs, explore yourself, enjoy life. Next thing you know, your child is rebellious, addicted, and lost. A system that knows how you think will never set you free unless you set yourself free. Which brings us to this guy, Tyler Perry. Now, the reason why someone like Tyler is very powerful and seems the very system he's expected to embrace the freedom and worship now celebrates him is because he didn't allow the illusion of freedom distract him. Now, that's discipline. The true African discipline. He built a system on his own by using discipline rather than becoming a puppet of the culture. That's why I said a system that knows how you think will never set you free unless you set yourself free. It's expected that you use a different thinking pattern. Do not behave the same way they want you to behave. They already understand your behavioral pattern. They already know who you are because you're already in their system. By the virtue of you coming over, they already have your system in the day. They know who you are. Tyler focused, he built. He used his mind, not just his emotions. He didn't conform to a system, he created one. He built his own system within their system. And now that very system celebrates him. I'll keep saying this, African parenting remains one of the strongest parenting models in the world. We don't ask children to be disciplined. We teach them that discipline is a non-negotiable part of their life. Just like the Arabic parents, and that is the only way to survive a system that says be free, while a security waits for you to crash. African parenting might be tough, but it's necessary. We don't raise children with soft hands. We raise them with discipline, vision, and identity. So to every African parent abroad, don't assume that the system will help you raise your kids. Don't assume that freedom is a blessing without consequence. Raise your kids with the same values that built you. Because if you let go of that, the system will take over and you may not like what they become. And you'll be ultimately blamed for it, for whatever result that comes. So hear me well. Freedom is not always freedom. Sometimes it's a silent cage dressed in choices. Raise your kids with roots, not just wings. Teach them that just because the system says you can doesn't mean they should. Don't raise kids who become strangers to you in the name of freedom. Raise your kids under the foundation that discipline isn't optional, it's a must. It's your duty to make them understand that discipline is the highest form of love. Raise them right.